Hey everyone, it's Jared from WV Koi, and I wanted to talk to you today about a discovery I've made over the last, year and a half or so. Maybe even just the past year. And that discovery is that not every kind of fish thrives in crystal clear water. This is my healthiest tank. Well, maybe this one is actually probably my healthiest. But the water in both is very, very murky. You can't see more than 2 or 3 inches below the surface. I do have sunlight here coming in through the windows and the door, but what I've discovered is that koi especially prefer to have water that they can hide in persistently to avoid predators, any perceived threats, to get away from each other. And also, they prefer a non-sterile environment. So any environment that has more free-floating organisms in the substrate and in the water column helps knock out bad predatorial bacterias, parasites, such as flukes, such as trichodina, costia, those sorts of things. I had some asagi from Yamasan Koi Farm in here all winter long. Just an air stone and sand in the substrate. The water has been very dirty all winter long. Yet I went to go net them out the other day, and they were perfectly healthy. Not a blemish on them. Their color was good. I've been feeding them once or twice a day, even in the murky water. I haven't bothered to measure ammonia or anything like that. Just keep the air stone going. It's only about 60 gallons worth of water in there. They were all perfectly healthy. I moved them over to here so they would have a little more space, and they were doing just as well in here. But they've pretty well eaten all the plants that are in here. The industry would have you believe that crystal clear water is the best for the koi, but based on what I've seen, and this is somewhat anecdotal, but last summer I had a very shallow tank above ground. It was about a foot high, with just a tarp liner in it. I filled it with water, and I used it for prepping my fish that I was getting ready to ship, to have them in sort of a staging area. Well, some of those fish ended up staying on there a long time before they got shipped. The water was very green from algae. Yet all of the fish were doing really well. No ulcers, no mouth rot, no saddleback, no anything. Their colors were vibrant, but you couldn't see more than an inch or two into the water. And so that experience over the last 9 months or so has led me to 9 months to a year has led me to believe that koi really don't prefer clean water. They really don't. I have a friend named Tony who is a national park ranger over in Maryland, and he says that he sees carp all the time in the tributaries of the Potomac River, the backwaters, where the water is very murky. He says they hang out there all the time. They prefer it shallow, murky, dirty water. And those are common carp, which are basically koi that are just color mutated. Same species. And So I am completely rethinking. In fact, I have switched most of my tanks over to non-filtered tanks. They only have air stones and sand substrates. So sand substrates will act as a biofilter, an excellent biofilter. Additionally, it builds up an anoxic layer, an anaerobic layer you may call it, where bacteria that process nitrates can develop and process nitrates to keep water quality very high. I do throw plants in here every once in a while, but the koi eat them down, and that's okay. It's good food for them, and I replenish it with more. I have more duckweed and stuff in here to throw in there. Duckweed, hornwort, that sort of thing, that I give them to not only to help the water, but also provide them some food. And I've just had nothing but good luck doing that. So I don't really care if I have clean water. I have perfectly clean water up in the tank in the garage, and the fish up there are not doing very well. And so they don't get much sunlight either. So the other conclusion I've reached is that the fish don't necessarily need sunlight, but the water does, and that directly affects the fish's health. So I have more fish outside now, although some of them don't tolerate the cold too well. So those that don't tolerate the cold well, I bring in here and let them. I turn the heat up, get some good feed into them, medicate the feed if necessary, and just watch them bounce right back and recover and put some weight on them and everything else. So I'm gonna just keep doing that, and don't let anybody really convince you that you need a filter, because filters and pumps are overpriced. All I have are these, $25 air pumps back there. Off alone. And some hoses. Some air hoses to aerate the tank. Yeah, just generally we need to be rethinking how we keep our koi. You can still enjoy your koi and see your koi even if the water's murky. You just won't be able to see them all the time. But you don't need to have dirty water. It's okay if your water is clean as long as your fish are healthy. But I don't think we need to be afraid of dirty water with koi, because it seems to actually benefit them in some ways. So that's all for now. Take care.